What is going on, guys? Rodney here with Crypto Bros. Welcome to today's video. It is Tuesday, July 3rd, and today we are talking about NKN, new kind of network, and their quest to decentralize internet connectivity. Very cool project, definitely gaining some traction, some popularity, some clout in the space. We will jump into all that in just a second, but before we do, a couple quick things. One, we are announcing our winner for our $50 Ethereum giveaway. We'll be doing the drawing for that at the end of the video. Two, also just wanted to say thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. Seriously, appreciate every single subscription. Love you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, just come over here, hit the subscribe button. You guys don't even have to click the bell. I just love you for being around. So anyway, you can also follow me over on Twitter at RodCryptoGod. All that being said, let's talk about NKN. Two quick disclaimers. One, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is financial advice. And then two, I'm going to try to touch on the main points of the project in this video. That way, the video is not super long. Looking back at some of my older ones for like 20 minutes, too much information. So I am going to hustle through this today. I'm sorry if information gets left out. All that being said, let's get going. So NKN currently trading at 23.9 cents. Ranked 205 in market cap, and the current market cap is $35 million. Circulating supply, 150 million, total supply, 700 million, and max supply, 1 billion tokens. One point that I kind of want to touch on is I do think in terms of the scope of the project, $35 million is a pretty low evaluation for their market cap. I think in time, there's a ton of potential for this to do some very big things. I think you'll kind of see that when we jump into the actual project. No, I don't want to make a outlandish price projection here, but I do think that there is a ton of good that is going to come from this. So anyway, in terms of the chart piece, kind of the TA here, as we can see, current price point is below where it actually debuted at on the market. And really, since the project is so new, we haven't even seen a full market cycle yet. If you're curious as to where you can get it, not a ton of volume because it's only trading on Gate.io and Switch.io network, which is a Neo-based exchange. All-time high on the price points is actually 50 cents. So again, trading at 23.7 cents. That's a little bit more than a 50% retracement, and it does run on the Neo blockchain. So what exactly is NKN? Again, it stands for New Kind of Network, and it says NKN is a new kind of network connectivity protocol and ecosystem powered by blockchain for open, decentralized, and shared internet. So what exactly does that mean? And then it goes into this part of the website where it says today's internet shortcomings are, and what we're actually going to focus on is the net utilization and efficiency piece. That's going to be the basis of today's video. But the things they are going to be solving are net neutrality, utilization and efficiency in terms of the internet, and deficiency of today's SDN networks. I'm not going to get super in depth on the net neutrality piece, as I think it's in a way kind of a byproduct based on what they're doing in terms of having no regulation on the internet stuff you looked at. This is actually not the same as Substratum. Substratum is building a decentralized web hosting platform. This is something completely different. So the piece that I do want to focus on, though, is this net utilization and efficiency. And it says, a huge inefficiency exists in today's internet since connectivity and bandwidth are not balanced between supply and demand. Network resources are lost every second. So essentially what these guys are doing is creating a network where a person like myself can share my bandwidth with someone like you, and it doesn't really matter what it's for. You know, whether you're trying to do a video live stream or load a website or send a file, you may have a poor internet connection, whether that's on your smartphone, your computer, and you can actually borrow bandwidth from the people around you to give yourself a better connection and a faster speed for whatever it is that you're doing. So that is like the basis of this project, and this is where it kind of gets super interesting. They're saying that this kind of network connectivity piece is the third pillar of blockchain, and we'll just read this. So it says, by blockchainizing the network layer, NKN is providing the missing third pillar of the internet infrastructure. Just as Ethereum has done for compute and Filecoin has done for storage, NKN will decentralize network connectivity and transmission. This is kind of like that Uberized, ordeal here, where if you need something, whether it's a ride or even like Airbnb, right? So the Uberized technology piece. So if you need bandwidth, we would each connect to the NKN blockchain. You would be able to get a better, piece of connection, better piece of bandwidth from me. In return, I would collect a token, which would be kind of the tokenized economy for lending you that, and you would only pay for the bandwidth that you used. And that, again, is the basis of the project. Now, how that works is, one, they're going to have a highly scalable blockchain and consensus algorithm. It's based on it's called cellular automata. This is a little bit over my head in terms of the technology piece. They do cover it in their white paper, and I did muscle my way through when I read that, but we're not going to try to break that down. I think it would be very messy. But what is easy to understand is what is called their proof of relay. And that just is how someone would relay bandwidth to you and in return would collect the token. And we'll actually check out kind of like a very rough model of how that works currently on their testnet. And again, the tokenized connectivity piece, for me lending out the bandwidth, you would pay in NKN tokens to me for that service. So very simple overall concept. Again, just kind of breaks everything down here in terms of building that community, giving the bandwidth to people who need it. And really, like, if you're in the US, not or even just the Western Hemisphere, not a huge problem. For the most part, we all have pretty good connectivity services, whatever. But what's going to be really interesting is these are actually going to be able to incorporate, across like cellular devices. So if I have Verizon and you have Sprint, and we're in a remote area and you're really struggling with your, to do something, to look at your Facebook, you could actually borrow bandwidth from me. So very interesting nonetheless. Anyway, what I do want to jump into is the team here. Great team, stallions, studs, if you will. So Yanbo Li, most notable former co-founder of OnChain. He was a core designer and developer of the blockchain system DNA that runs through OnChain, so very well endowed in that space. Bruce Lee, he is also a co-founder of this project, founder and multi-million-dollar startup projects at Nokia, Google, and led research and development teams across the US, EU, and CN. Crypto Zombie did a really great interview with him. You guys can check that out here. Really down to earth, really well explained. Nothing but good things to say about that dude in general. And our last guy, also another co-founder, PhD in physics at University of California. He's also the domain expert in cellular automata. Again, a little more complicated than I want to get into for this video. You guys can definitely check that out if you want to take on that task of reading through the white paper. As we get over to, this is actually their introduction page. You can find this on their website. Super great, kind of breaking everything down. There are three, current use cases that I'm going to go through, and I'll read through these really quickly, and we'll continue to carry on here. So it's the first one. It's want to send files faster. You can ask a neighbor for help. So it says, Jim needs to send a large video to his colleague before 5 o'clock, but his internet connection is weak and taking a long time to transfer. Greg is nearby and has a fast and reliable network connection. Both Jim and Greg open up the NKN blockchain application on their mobile. Jim connects to Greg's phone and uses Greg's high-quality network connection to quickly and easily transfer the file via the NKN network. At the same time, Greg gains rewards for sharing his idle network resources. Pretty simple to understand here. That will actually work, whether it's through Bluetooth, with ad hoc Wi-Fi, or a hotspot or something like that. So anyway, version 2, internet service providers can gain a new revenue stream. And this was actually one thing they talked about in that interview with Crypto Zombie, and it says, Acme is a small rural internet service provider in the Midwestern states, with a limited number of customers and ever-increasing costs. Acme needs to find new sources of income to remain profitable. Acme chooses to share its network connectivity with NKN user and earns additional incentives for data transmitted. So again, they're just kind of using their blockchain to relay extra bandwidth to people in need. Again, we'll kind of look at how that works on the next little page here. And then the last one is dApps will enable messaging services without servers. So it says, Jay has developed a great instant messaging app. However, Jay wants to avoid the high cost of hosting his application on centralized messaging server in the cloud. Therefore, Jay chooses to use NKN's D-App network toolkit and peer-to-peer network to rapidly create an application that no longer needs central server. Jay's app will pay tokens to the relay traffic across NKN's network, and in addition, Jay's app can also receive incentive tokens if the app helps relay traffic for other clients and applications. So kind of flipping over here, we can actually see how this would work. So in the case of Jay's application here, I need to refresh this page. But in the case of Jay's application, so this is actually a messaging app that is running on their current testnet currently. So we'll actually see how the nodes kind of process those. Of course, all right, it did load. So here we go. Here's the messaging app. So we send one, hey, hey. And what you'll see up here are these blue dots. These blue dots are actually kind of relay nodes, and these are the pieces that are relaying the messenger or relaying the messages across the network. If we actually go to their homepage, you can kind of get a kind of like a high-level overview of how that may work. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but these two orange dots here would technically be the clients sharing or changing or exchanging some type of data, whether it's the messaging app, whether it's relaying bandwidth, whatever. But these blue dots right here, you can actually see are the relay nodes. So the more relay nodes that are in place, they actually more efficient this this whole network app. So again, the paths are always a little bit different. It's always relayed. The more nodes that are in place, the more efficient it is. And then you guys can just kind of see here, you know, how this actually works, regardless of what it is actually transferring. In terms of the white paper, the only thing that I really want to touch on here is just this, just the objectives they're trying to accomplish here with their project. So it says any node can connect to this fully open network from any place. They're very big on promoting network sharing. The bigger the network is, the better it works. Secure net neutrality from network layer innovations. Always keep network open and scalable. Perform efficient and dynamic routing. Tokenize network connectivity and data transmissions in incentive participating nodes, and design and build the next generation of blockchain. I will say I read through this. The first, I don't know, half of it, fairly not super technical, really gives you a good idea of how it works, what they're trying to accomplish. I recommend taking a peek at this. Once it gets down to the more like technical stuff, it gets a little more complicated in there. You know, I'm not the brightest, whatever, light in the shed. That's a terrible analogy. But as you can see, it gets down here and starts getting a little bit more in depth in the tech. And while it is actually easy to read, I definitely do not want to try to explain that. And we'll wrap this guy up here. So you guys can follow them over at Twitter at NKN _org, and then 7,087 followers there. On their Telegram, they have 18,000. And again, guys, if you want to check out that interview with Bruce Lee and Crypto Zombie, you can do that here. And last but not least, I do want to do this giveaway. Super honored, really pleased with how it turns out. I actually got way more participants than I thought I would. I think you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you. So let's pick our winner here. Drum roll, please. And then we'll kind of wrap up this NKN piece. So who do we have? Album Mahur. Sorry, guys, I don't read well. I'm an ignorant American. I hope I said that right, but it says, great review, mate. You are the winner. Congratulations, brother. Super pumped for you. So anyway, guys, just kind of wrapping this whole thing together. In terms of where we're at currently, brand new project. Very cool in the fact that they are decentralizing internet connectivity. There's a lot of places in the world outside the Western Hemisphere that need something like this. Maybe not specifically here in the States, but I can even tell you from my own experience, like it's 5:30 right now. I probably won't upload this video until a little bit later tonight just because the bandwidth is sucked down between our neighbors and people getting home from work and being on their phones and streaming Netflix, that it's usually slow. But not a huge problem. But I can see where this would be a real world solution in a much bigger, outside the U.S. Overall, a lot of potential here. I think this whole decentralized piece, especially when it comes to internet, is huge. At one point, they were even calling it like the Pied Piper ordeal, although I think that's not exactly what it is. But anyone can really not only consume the internet, but you can produce the internet for others. So I think that is awesome. All that being said, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, all you got to do, come over here, hit the subscribe button. I love the shit out of you. Have a great 4th of July, and I will catch you